Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. I'm so glad you decided to join me today. Come on in here with me and sit down. Let's open our Bibles up and study a little bit today in Psalm 68. Today we're going to look at 12 through 14. There's still a grand reflection of Deborah's song in Judges chapter 5 here in these three verses. We continue with that theme. And again, it's all about the majesty of God. What did he do? We know his character. We know what he's done in the past. Deborah's song tells us about that, and that's part of the reason why I think David is using that sort of as a model or a template for this particular song. It's beautiful. I mean, Deborah's song is one of the grand songs in the Bible, and David uses that as a template for part of his song as he brings the ark into Jerusalem. Let me read for you verses 12, 13, and 14. Kings of armies did flee apace, and she that tarried at home divided the spoil. Though ye have lain among the pots, ye shall be as wings of a dove covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. When the Almighty scattered kings in it, it was white as snow in Zalman. Now tomorrow we'll take up 15, we'll do 15 through the end, the 15 through 18 tomorrow. You'll notice the kings of the armies did flee apace. You have to go back to Numbers chapter 5 just to get a little handle on this, Numbers chapter 4. 5 is the song, 4 is the story. Israel does evil there in the sight of the Lord after the death of Ehud, one of the original judges. Deborah now is the judge. She's the prophetess, and she dwells under the palm tree. The kings come down, and they're going to fight. And I won't go through all of chapter 4. You can read that for yourself. But they are routed. The Lord routs them. And it says in verse 15 that the Lord discomfited Sisera and all his chariots and all his host with the edge of the sword. So the Lord does a work, routs the kings, and you'll notice that it says they flee, howbeit, in verse 17, howbeit Sisera fled away on his feet to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite. For there was peace between Jabin the king of Hazor and the house of Heber the Kenite. So when it says here in 12, the she that tarries at home divides the spoil, I wonder if it's not referring to this Jael, because she kills Sisera. And the champion for Israel was told by Deborah, Barak was told, you're not going to get the honor here because the Lord's going to sell him into the hand of a woman. And of course he does. Kills Sisera, and all the rest are scattered, of course, and the victory is won, which in verse 13, you have lain among the pots, yet you shall be as the wings of a dove covered with silver. So you see the victory, how God takes the depression of the people and their subjugation under Sisera and Jabin, and he gives them a blessing. And the blessing is like the wings of a dove covered with silver and with fine yellow gold. So this is the blessing that happens, and of course Deborah, she relates that in her song. She also relates the story of Jael in her song. And then verse 14 we have, when the Almighty scattered kings in it, it was white as snow in Zalman. So again, the kings are scattered. They did flee apace there in 12. The Almighty scatters the kings in it. And you notice that we have, instead of God or, the presence of God, we've had the word God all the way through here, beginning in verse 1. It's just been a constant sort of rhythm throughout the entire psalm. And we come here to verse 14, and instead of God, we have the Almighty. So he's trying to use so many different names here. He used Yah there in verse 4 to refer to him. Now he uses the word Shaddai here in verse 14, Almighty. And in verse 11, the Lord, but that was Adonai. So he uses all these different names for God as we're going through, because we're talking about the majesty of the Lord. And we come to the close then of David's use of this Song of Deborah as a template. So tomorrow we'll begin in 15 and we'll go 15 through 18 here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.